Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Adam's TV podcast. I am your host, Adam Samuel, and we are back. We had some technical difficulties last week. We also had some technical difficulties about 3 minutes ago, but we got it all to work. We're here on this stream. It is good to be back. Today, we are talking about Hollywood Week. We are going to be covering all of Hollywood Week of American Idol 17. Joining me for this discussion is my co-host, Eric. How are you doing today, Eric?
Doing good. A lot of performances to get through. Some of them great, some of them not. Let's dive right in, I say.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit, there are a lot of performances to cover today, so we are going to be doing them a little rapid fire. They're just going to be like ... We will, if there's someone that happens, there's a lot to talk about, we will linger on them, but otherwise, we're just going to we want to talk about everyone really quickly, so we are going to do that. First off, Eric, what did you think of Hollywood Week this week?
Like I said, some good, some bad. Not a ton of ugly. I mean, here's the thing. So I'm not a fan of a drama of Hollywood Week. So I literally just watched performances, and that's all I watched.
I watched the whole thing, and there was one kind of finding of mine that really still stands out till now, is that this does not feel like the Hollywood Week of the old. I'm not for better or worse. It's kind of just different. It's not bad. It's not worse. I feel like a little bit, the judges were very nice. They were giving a lot of standing ovations. Every time someone got cut, there was kind of a bit of like a sad feeling. It was never like, I feel like during these weeks in the past, they try to build people up and then kind of knock them down, which did happen with a couple of people. But I feel like this was a much more good-hearted Hollywood Week. Do you think that's a agreeable stance?
Yes, it's true, but I'm not sure I agree with it, that being the right approach, honestly, because I don't think half these kids are ready for prime time, and Hollywood Week is a good time to figure out who's ready and who's not. And the judges give I think Sleazak tweeted out 8 standing ovations on Monday, which is about 8 too many, I'd say, at this point of the competition.
Yeah, an old Hollywood Week, there were no such thing. That was not a thing. You would get maybe one standing ovation a season. A season?
Yeah, one period from any of the judges, I'd say. Well, particularly from Simon, but
Yeah, it's crazy how
even
much
Simon's been too generous with standing ovations lately, but still.
It's the way of the future, I think, for these shows. It's way for
I'm not going to be happy about it, no matter how long it lasts.
Yeah, I agree. But the one thing that I did want to kind of bring up to you, Eric, is we approach Hollywood Week. All the contestants kind of show up and arrive, and they're all getting hyped. And the first thing that I have in my notes was Bobby Bones. Did he live up to it, Eric?
I didn't watch him at all. Did he live up to it?
He's kind of just there. He's kind of there saying the generic
last year then
advice. He's like, oh, you just got to give it your all. Just
exactly like last
yourself.
Year.
Okay.
Glad to know I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. Otherwise, there is one point I want to touch on that kind of goes beyond the show of American Idol, which is exciting, and we'll get to it in a sec. But we actually had some news that I don't think we've had in since quite a few years. We actually had an engagement from 2 seasons from last year. We had Kate Vayner and Gabby Barrett getting engaged. This was kind of exciting news. What did you think about it, Eric?
Congratulations to them.
Yeah, they're very young, but I've grown on both of these people. We were a little harsh on them a little bit last year, and I feel like
you were harsh on one of them in particular. I was a lot harsh on them too much.
Yeah, but
I was nicer to them last year.
I've grown on them. I still love some of their performances. I saw them live, and Gabby's
a vocal powerhouse.
Really, really good. But yeah, so congratulations to them. This was exciting. I'm hoping we might hear some similar news eventually, maybe with Maddie and Caleb, but you never know. Eric's shaking his head. But
I don't want to curse anything.
All right. Well, another point, you didn't see this part, I guess, but I saw this and I wanted to bring it up to you, was one of the things that Bobby Bones, the one kind of note that I have on his mentorship this season was he was very low on original songs. He's like, don't do original songs. It's a bad idea. And I want to get your take on this for this note, Eric, because I don't know. What are your stance on original songs during Hollywood Week? Are you for it or against it?
I'm for original songs as much as people want to do them, because I feel like if you can write your own music and it's part of who you are as who you're gonna be as an artist, what your case is, show your original songs. I hate when the judges and the producers discourage original songs. I hate that so much. Hated it when Howie did it with Beach Avenue. I hate it. I hate it when anyone does it. It just bugs me.
I totally agree. I don't understand why there's such like hate for it, but there was a lot of like vitriol. Like it's a very bad idea. Like every time someone would do it, the judges, it would be like a big moment. Like, ooh, they're going against Bobby Bones. They're going against like advice. They're taking a shot. But you know, I say like screw them. Like just do whatever you want to do. Like I feel like if you're on this show and you've been blessed with this kind of an opportunity, don't let it be dictated by someone else. Like go if your ship is going down, wouldn't you rather go down on your own terms than someone else's? Because the producers are just going to make their decision, whatever it is. I say just do whatever you want. Like just have fun. Well, have fun, but don't say you've had fun after the performance, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Just go in there, like do what you got to do and let it be your game. Don't let it be someone else's game. That's just my opinion. But you could take of it what you choose if you want to and are somehow on the show and watching this podcast, which hopefully you are because we have a lot of good advice. Otherwise, I'm just looking. All right, so let's start to get into this episode because there is a lot to cover. We are going to do it, like I said, it's going to be a little bit rapid fire style, but it's 4 hours, so this is going to go a little quick. Anyway, let's get right into it. So we have 175 singers making it to Hollywood Week, which that felt a little high to me. Did it feel the same way to you?
That number is way too high. I'm hearing it for the first time now, and that's like way too many.
Yeah, I was getting pretty hyped when they were showing the intro and everyone's like kind of getting ready. Like those are some of my favorite parts. Like just the beginning when everyone's kind of coming in and it's all like the excitement and they're all going to leave it like a total like emotional wreck because it's just going to drain them all.
You see, you watch Big Brother though, so I don't watch those types of things.
I do watch those types of things. Yeah, it does. Hollywood Week of American Idol is the closest the show gets to Big Brother, so I kind of have to make do with it with what I can.
Basically, yeah.
All right, so let's get into our first contestant of Hollywood Week. We have Lacey K. Booth, who is a contestant that is a favorite of mine. I think that I have like 10 names kind of in my head that I'm kind of going between. And Lacey is for me, she's low on my 10 list, but she's on my 10 list. And I'm a big fan of her. She has her story with her father. Her father, they didn't meet right away. And then they eventually ended up meeting later on and they started singing together. So she performs Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin. What did you think about it?
I'm not a fan of Lacey. I'm sorry. She's not in any way the type of singer I gravitate toward. I thought you were gonna love her though, because she sounded a lot like Maddie to me for some reason.
You know what I really like about this girl is because I thought she was a country singer, and I don't think she is. She's soul, and her voice. It's like almost got a smoky quality to it, like a bar singer. And that tone is like just gorgeous. Like that is the kind of singers that I like listening to. Smoky voice. I feel like we only got a short snippet of her, but man, I think she's going to go deep, Eric. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Lacey K, and I think she can make top 5.
She could. She won't deserve to, in my view, but she could make top 5.
What is it about her that's kind of stopping you from getting on her train?
It's just not the type of thing I like. I would ever go out of my way to listen to personally.
All right. Well, I still liked her. For me, I did some grades for some performances.
I didn't do any grades.
There was so much, but for me, I just gave Lacey K a B+. I'm not going to do them for all of them, but that is kind of my grade for her. Any final thoughts?
Nope.
All right, let's move on to Alejandro Aranda, who is one of the most hyped contestants kind of going into this season. He's
overhyped, maybe? Yeah.
What?
Overhyped in my view.
You know, I actually mentioned this on Twitter. I was tweeting about him. I was worried a little bit that he might not be able to live up to the hype. I think there's a chance he might have peaked at the audition. But I think right now, he's got a lot of people going for him, and I can't deny it. He's really talented. He performed Sorry by Justin Bieber. And the first thing I thought of when he came out on stage is I was thinking the Idol stylists are gonna have a field day with him. Like he's going to like get the Clay Aiken treatment, and he's gonna come out like looking at like a different person. I'm really excited about his run this season. He is one of the contestants in my top 10 bracket that I have my eye on. Is he for you?
No, honestly, I because it's not American Guitarist, it's American Idol. It's a singing competition, and his voice is just so weak. I'm sorry, it's really weak, and it bugs me to death that he's not capable of singing like as good as some of the other people can. If it was about playing guitar, he'd be probably my favorite by far. But it's not about that. It's about having a good voice. And yeah,
I wrote in my notes, I think he's a better musician than a singer, but he's a phenomenal musician, and he can play some really good music.
Yeah, he can, but for me, his voice is so weak for me that it kind of takes away from any. I honestly just don't like that.
There's one part about him that I'm a little surprised. I almost thought his hair was like the Taylor Hicks kind of treatment, but it turns out he dyes it. Like it's
okay.
Yeah.
Great. Good for him.
Yeah. Epic guitar playing. That's all I can really say. Like,
he's amazing at guitar.
It felt almost like showing off at parts. Like he's doing so well.
He's really good at that. But I just really wish he was a better singer, because if he was, I'd be rooting for him like crazy.
I know. But I gotta say, like, for me, I'm 100% on his train. Like he is someone I have my eye on. And Eric, I think there's a chance he might be able to win. I don't know. But
I think so too, and that's what worries me. because of people like the next person on this list.
All right. Well, both of them make it through. I forgot to mention, this is the lines of 10s part where the contestants kind of come out. They're broken into groups, and then the front row, back row. So they both make it through. Katy Perry even says some of you could win, and yeah. But there was one section of this because she breaks them up into these two groups, and there's I think like one girl in the back, and she says to the front like some of you could win, and I was like, the poor girl, she's right there.
That's really
like you just told her like,
bye.
Bye. All right. Well, we move on to Courtney Henry, who was a favorite of mine going into Hollywood Week. She was someone I was really hoping this girl would be good. Really was hoping. She comes out and she just is straight up in tears. She's a returning contestant. I would think that she would be like a little bit used to, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she said she made it to group rounds, and she's very emotional during this thing. What did you think about Courtney?
I didn't see her. They didn't upload to YouTube, I don't think. So
all right. Well, I saw it, and she goes for a very spunky, high energy song, which is kind of awkward because she just like came out crying. But I just wrote down she's just not ready, which bums me out because she, like I said, she was one of my favorite contestants. And there was this whole segment that the judges kind of cheer her up. They give her tissues. And I actually found this segment really funny because Courtney blows into the tissue and then gives it to Katy Perry.
Okay, I'm sad I missed that part then.
Yeah, and she forgets the words at parts, so it gets really rough. But there was one other segment where Courtney comes on stage and Katy says to her, Courtney says, "Do you remember me, guys?" And Katy's like, "I remember that you have a crush on Ryan Seacrest." And I literally went, "No, you don't, Katy. You didn't watch that season. You didn't watch it."
Okay. Let's talk about the highlight of the weekend for me.
All right. Well, anyway, Courtney gets cut. I liked her, but that's how it is. I hope she comes back. Like she's crazy, but I still love her and I want her to come back. All right. We move on to Madison Vandenberg, who is, correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, I think she's your favorite contestant this season?
By a mile.
By a mile. Eric, tell me about Madison.
So for me, nobody's even close to her this season. It's like at the end of the day. She has a great voice. She can play guitar. She can play piano. She's not Kelly. The fact they're comparing her to Kelly is blasphemy. But compared to the rest of the people this year, she's in a league of her own as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, she performs Already Gone by Kelly Clarkson, which I think might be my personal favorite Kelly Clarkson song.
Blasphemy as well.
Oh, really? Which is yours?
Basically anything but that one, because Kelly hates that one.
I love that song. That
Kelly
Because
hates
of You
one.
probably would be my favorite Katy Perry songs.
Kelly Clarkson?
Yeah.
You said Katy Perry just now.
Oh, well, that's there's a lot of names, Eric. There's a lot of people to
see.
talk
I
about.
really love Kelly Clarkson to be an idol and not Katy Perry, but that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah, let's spend a little bit of time in Madison because she is a favorite of yours. They're keeping these Kelly Clarkson comparisons alive, or Katy Perry comparisons, as I'm misspeaking.
She's
for
way
me,
better than Katy.
Yeah, I liked this performance a lot more than her audition. For me, I don't know if it was just because I like the song, but there were some glorious notes in here, like beauty. Like this girl, like she's not in my personal top 10 because I just have so many names, but she's
not even in your top 10.
She's 11. There's a lot of names in there.
Oh my god, you! Oh my god, how?
Look, I just think this is a really talented batch of Idol contestants.
No, it's not. Honestly,
I totally disagree with that. Going through.
I'd say there are like 4 people I would ever pay to see in concert out of this entire season.
But for me, I mentioned this. I actually didn't mention this, but this season's giving me like season 11 vibes, like the best season.
Close.
Like I gotta disagree. I think this is some really good talent. Madison, yeah, she is really good. She's just not in my personal favorite, but of the talent, I think she is going to go far in this competition.
Okay, I mean, I guess I've been spoiled by X Factor and all the other shows, but for me, it's not even. For me, there are like 3 people, maybe 4, that I would ever pay to see in concert out of all these contestants.
All right,
and that's not that great for me. But
all right, well, let's move on to Margie Mays, who is she was, I believe, Eric. Tell me if you think otherwise. I think she was one of the stars of Hollywood Week, not in terms of vocal ability, but in terms of just the camera was following her a lot, like reaction shots.
Again, well, I wasn't.
Well, she was like just. I feel like the judges, the producers, and the cameras just love her. Like this girl is like drama, and they're kind of really following her. They're kind of really. I feel like the show. I don't know if this is how she really is in real life, but the show really wants us to find her annoying. Like they really show her doing all these ridiculous stunts and antics. But I feel like when she comes down to it and she performs "Lay Me Down" by Sam Smith, she's really good, and she's actually like better than I would think she would be. But she is really talented, Eric.
I didn't think it was anything remotely great, personally.
I thought she's got energy,
because I've heard people sing that song and nail that song. She didn't nail that song.
Yeah, this song is. I'm hearing this song a lot, like whether it be on auditions. Like this is a very popular song. I think we might probably hear it once or twice during the live shows because it's just such a big song. But otherwise, yeah, I give her a thumbs up. Eric, does she get a thumbs up from you?
She gets a thumb sideways from me.
Is the thumbs like this or like this? Like which sideways?
Firmly sideways.
Firmly sideways.
Did not leave an impression on me either way.
All right. Well, let's really quickly talk about Tyler Mitchell. He is a country singer, and I actually didn't catch what song he sang. I just wrote down it's country song. Like that's kind of my identifier for these songs because there's these like whole subset of songs that I just don't know the names for because it's just not my forte, this thing. So I just wrote, he sings country song and he sings it okay, but it's really quick and we just kind of move on.
Yeah, so quick because I didn't put it on YouTube, so I didn't see it.
Yeah. We also get Logan Johnson. Like I said, we're going to be doing these really quickly. We're going to get through them. He is the contestant with, he had a drug addiction story. He was celebrating 10 months of sobriety during Hollywood Week. He performed Sensible Heart by Dallas Green. What did you think?
He's a dead sounder like with Shawn Mendes, which to me isn't a good thing because I'm not a Shawn Mendes fan necessarily. But at this point, I kind of like him. We'll see.
He reminds me of Sam Wolf from season 13, I think.
Yeah, season 13.
I'm getting those vibes. Like he's kind of got the story. It's the same kind of archetype. And, should he make it to the top 24? I think people will vote for him. I think he's like.
Well, he have to make it to top 14 for people to vote for him.
Yeah, well, top 14, but you know what I mean. Like,
I know what you mean, but
Daniel Seavey, like the contestant that like he's got the teen vote and he's got like the.
Well, Daniel Seavey didn't last long on Idol, but afterwards he did really well for
Daniel Seavey is the most
successful contestant on Idol post season 11.
It's crazy.
Which is
good
insane.
for him. Really good for him. He's he's blowing up is all I can really say. For his performance, I gave it was a good performance. I said, all right, a little forgettable, but this was maybe just because in the wave of performances that was Hollywood Week, it was okay.
Okay.
All right. We move on. All of those contestants get through, and we touch on Eddie Island. Welcome to the island.
Hope you don't barf.
What?
Hope you don't barf.
Yeah. In his intro segment, we talk about we get these aspects where everyone's getting sick. A plague has broken out on American Idol, and always. Why does this always happen on the show? Like, there's always Hollywood Week. Like, the plague breaks out. Like, everyone is dying all of a sudden. How does this happen, Eric?
I don't know how it happens. Maybe if they poison the water.
I don't know, Eric. But anyway, I don't know. Shame on you.
Well, how else would it happen? I wouldn't put it past them. They do anything for drama.
It's a joke. Right. Well, we move on. Eddie is fighting the sickness.
To be clear, pause it to say, I am 100% kidding. Carry on.
You can't be too careful with these shows. You never know. Eddie Island is taking a holistic approach to this disease. He is forming a bubble of holisticness around him, and it doesn't work. He ends up getting really sick. They're kind of I don't like the way they're kind of portraying him. They're kind of portraying him as kind of a bit of a stoner. Did you get the vibe, Eric, also? Like, they're kind of
100%, but Bubble of Holisticness is now the title of the episode.
That's a good one. And he ends up performing one of my all-time favorite songs of ever, I Will Follow You Into the Dark by Death Cab for Cutie. What did you think about it?
It was better for this edition, in my view. I hope he keeps getting better, because I really find him hilarious. Like, after he's walking on stage, and I didn't birth, yay!
Yeah, it got a little shouty for me at times. Like, this is a song
still not one of my favorites, but it's better than this edition was.
This song is so perfect because it's so simple, and it's a song that I wouldn't want any like vocal acrobats. Like, it's just a quiet song, like a campfire song. And I didn't kind of like that he took it up to like the shouty, but I do understand because he's trying to show what he's got to the judges. But yeah, this wasn't my favorite because maybe it's just because I love the song so much. But otherwise, he is going through. Let's keep going, shall we, Eric?
Let's.
All right, really quickly, we get Sean Robinson. He's doing Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. Really, really short snippet. It's a little bit indulgent for me, this performance. Too many runs.
That's a good word. Cut back on the runs. It would be amazing. He's got a great voice, but I have no idea what to do with it.
Yeah. Good voice. Tone it down, though. That's my note. And then we can keep it going. Should we keep going?
Yeah.
We get Colby Smith. Colby Swift. I'm sorry, not Colby Smith. There's so many names. I'm sorry. Colby is a cowboy. He's got a cowboy hat. He's like a big country boy. Seems like a very cool dude. He performs Every Teardrop Falls by Freddie Fender, which I just wrote another country song. Like in my notes.
I wrote, not my thing at all.
I think it was it an original song? I don't think. No, it wasn't an original song. For me, this is another case of a contestant that I probably would have cut here, honestly, a little bit.
Yeah.
His voice, I don't like. It kind of went to like the Kermit the Frog kind of a little bit, where it was a little bit.
Wait, what? I need to watch this again and see if I see that at all.
It kind of went a little bit like. I don't know if he was maybe a little bit sick. I wrote down in my notes he's getting cut. Like, I thought like this was like my prediction was this was the end of it. But then we get this whole segment where Luke Bryan ends up offering him his shoes. Do you think this was pre-planned, Eric?
Sure? Question mark.
So yeah, this was. I thought he was gonna go home, but he ends up singing in Spanish, which was cool. Like, you don't often see country boys singing in Spanish. But his shoes had holes, so Luke Bryan gives him his. But right, for me, I thought he's going home. But he doesn't. He ends up going through. Along with Dalton Elliott and Katie Bell.
Okay.
All right, well, let's keep it going to the next duo that's kind of shown together. It's Elaine Hardy and Ashton Gill. This came a little earlier than I was kind of expecting it to. I knew this was coming, and I think you knew too, Eric, that it was coming.
Yeah.
These two contestants are shown together. They auditioned together. Lane kind of it was the Skylar and Colton Dixon kind of situation. They both end up going through, and now they're in Hollywood Week. Ashton goes first. She performs I Can't Make You Love Me. I wrote good. Some low notes were a little bit shaky. This was a little bit pitchy. What did you think about Ashton really quickly?
Ready for my controversial opinion of the day? I kind of liked her better than Lane.
She's good. Like I want her to come back. Like Ashton, I want Ashton to have her moment. Like I really feel bad for her. But
let me get to a point that pissed me off. After what obviously happens, which is that she gets cut, he goes through. He wasn't upset for her. Really, it didn't seem like.
There's like a really cynical part of me in how I watch this show. Like the producers of these two, the producers had their eye on Lane, and they kind of just want to singularize him. Do you know what I mean? Like they want.
Yeah, but if you really like him, you make him look sympathetic.
I don't know.
And you have him cry for his friend or something.
Eric, Hollywood Week is a little emotional. I don't know. Maybe he was a little on edge, or I don't know. But I'm still a big fan of Lane. And let's talk about Lane. He performs She Talks to Angels by Black Crowes. It's funny you mentioned it. This wasn't my favorite performance of his either.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm surprised. Like I said, I'm surprised we got this earlier in the season. I was kind of
expecting it to. You were expecting on Monday's episode instead, right?
Yeah, I was thinking it would be group round. Wait, yeah. But no, they showed his group round also, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway, we get to the results. Lane is moving on. Ashton isn't. Ashton, you got to come back. I want Ashton to come back. I want her to have her moment. All right. Let's move on to Jade Flores, who is performing Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. I remember her audition because it was on our podcast where we were having technical difficulties. But yeah, this girl is incredible. I wrote down in my notes, pretty well done. There were some parts where I felt she oversang it a little bit and she kind of went a little bit too far. But I love that she mentioned she gives good hugs, and that's one of the reasons she should be American Idol. I think that was the same thing Katie Turner said.
Katie Turner said a lot of funny things.
What did you think about Jade?
Very possible that she said that too. Jade got a great voice. Love the falsetto. Love the power. My favorite country contestant of the season.
It's going to be a little harsh a little later in this episode.
Why?
Because of what happens a little later on.
Oh, right. Because she gets, yeah. Because because no one who you like ever can make it very far out.
Yeah, she advances through this round, but I think she's another name I want to come back. Like I've got Ashton in my mind who I want to see again, and now I have Jade. Like these are like the hopefuls I'm hoping to see on the list next year because she did not deserve to get cut, but we will talk about her in a minute. Let's really quickly talk about Myra Tran. She is very high energy. She seems in her intro. She seems like a cool person, and she is taking on one of the hardest songs to perform. I think, like in my head, the hardest songs are like "Firework" by Katy Perry and probably "Chandelier," which is what she does. What did you think about what she did?
Not an artist, a powerhouse vocalist, though. Based on raw potential, if you give her a song, let her sing it, she has most potential of anyone this season in my book.
The fact that she just didn't mess this song up, which is such a hard song to
really
do.
Difficult.
I like that. This, in my opinion, was one of the best performances of the first round that we saw.
I would agree.
Very good. I think she needs to tone it down a little bit. Like maybe it got.
This isn't a performance where she needed to tone it down. The next one was.
Yeah.
In my book.
So yeah, that was Myra. Otherwise, let's keep it going.
Let's.
We have Jeremiah Lloyd Harmon, who is performing what was the song? Beautiful As You Feel by Carole King. This kid's really good. He's really good. What did you think, Eric?
My favorite guy of the season.
The thing is, I wrote this on Twitter. How can you not root for him?
Yeah, he's in my top 3 overall. My favorite guy this season. He's got a really great voice, and more importantly, he knows exactly what to do with it.
He's got a great singer. I think he's going to have a lot of people backing him. I hope
so. I hope he can overcome the fact that he's gay, and that he won't get cut for that.
I do though want to. I like him behind the piano more. Like I like those performances more. So that would be my advice, maybe moving forward. But otherwise, he's golden. Like he's one of the best ones this season, right, Eric?
Fully agreed.
All right. One thing I did notice was in his whole like intro package is how he works as a janitor, and then when he performs, it lists that he's a music teacher. Like, why didn't we hear anything about that? Like,
hooray for editing!
That was just something I was noticing. Otherwise, he gets through, and Myra and Jade get through, but we'll talk about Jade a little later. Next, we get Walker Burroughs. He is performing "Whereabouts" by Stevie Wonder. He's behind the piano. What did you think?
My second favorite guy of the season. Great voice, lovely tone.
Yeah, I wrote down in my notes, stay behind the piano. I think the piano it's like an extra coat of armor, like you could wear in the idol like wars, like in that metaphor. Pianos always, I feel, give you some extra points, but it depends how you use it. I wrote down he is very likable. I think he's another contestant that I think people are going to root for.
Yeah.
I don't know if he could win. Do you think
I don't think so ever.
I think he's kind of a little bit too gosh darn like golly gee, but I think he is. How do you not like? He's another key. Him and Jeremiah. Like, how do you not like these people? Like, they're so easy to root for. They're like holding signs like "root for me." Like, I'm very.
I said there are 4 people this season who I would ever consider seeing a concert. Those 2 are in the 4. So.
Yeah, the one thing that I noticed while he was performing is this was just like a running thing for me while we were watching Hollywood Week. When we saw Walker, there's also this random pink-haired girl just kind of walking around. Did you catch her, Eric?
No.
And I just kept wondering. I was like, what do you sound like? Like she's just walking around. Like, who are you? Like, I want to see you.
I bet you don't sound as good as Allison, though.
What?
I bet she does not sound as good as Allison Iraheta.
She got cut during the Rooms of Doom, but I was like, we're just never gonna find out. Always with Hollywood Week, there's like these people. If you look in the background, there's always like one person. I'm like, wait, why aren't we hearing what you sound like? Anyway, let's move on to Nate Walker. He's performing "I Believe in You and Me" by Whitney Houston. He is Gabby Barrett's friend. What did you think, Eric?
Great voice, great tone, a few too many runs.
Yes, exactly. Took the words out of my mouth. Very smooth, soft, silky voice. It's very clear. It's crisp. He gets a little sick later in the episode, but this dude, like, he's one of the best vocal talents, I think, of the season. And Eric, he is another example. Like, I really think this is one of the best seasons in terms of talent.
Yeah, from this episode, it was good, but the next episode, it was problematic.
I don't know. He's another, like, how can you root against him? Like, there's so many
against him. I'm not rooting against anybody. I'd love to be proven wrong. But as of now, I said for like 4 or 5 people I like. That's it. That's a low number.
So they are both through. We are going to move on, and we get two contestants. No, first we get a cut montage of a bunch of names who are cut. Then we get Nick Townsend and Lauren Engel kind of shown back to back. Nick Townsend does "Life of the Party" by Shawn Mendes. Eric, thoughts?
Nice voice, not a standout.
I wrote, "Are we sleeping on him?" I think he's pretty good, Eric. I was pretty high on him.
Good, but we'll see.
I don't know. He's someone for me that I want to have my eye on. He, I think, could make a run for it. I think he fits the bill. He's the white guy with guitar. He's got the story.
Yeah,
maybe.
We'll see.
All right. Next up, Lauren Engel, really quickly, doing "Jesus Take the Wheel." And
ow.
What?
Ow.
This song is kind of awkward because it's what it has to do with her story. Like it's a little on the nose because she has this whole story where her husband was tragically killed in this car accident, but I don't know, the song choice was a little bit weird for me. Do you think so, Eric?
Knowing that now, it's a little weird, but moreover, the high notes were way off, like painfully off.
Yeah, I wrote this was a messy performance. This was not the best, but yeah, the song was kind of just, I was like, you're going
I don't like
a little
the song, and yeah, the notes cut. My ears were like, yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, so Nick is in, Lauren is out. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's move on to Wade Coda. who we get really quickly doing. I didn't even catch the song. Really quick. Do you have any quick thoughts you want to share on Wade?
Well, nothing I can't share later in the episode, but I'll say I'm torn on him. Parts of his voice I like, parts I really don't.
I'm going to kind of agree with that, but we'll talk about him a little later. Next up, we have a contestant who we are meeting for the first time.
Yay! The Cade Fainer of the season.
What?
The Cade Fainer. We never saw his audition.
Exactly what I was thinking of. It's like the pop one out right there. Demetrius Graham performing Wind Beneath My Wings. Man, I do not like this song. Do you, Eric?
Not really, but I will say he's got a great voice.
Yeah.
He reminds me a little bit of like a 50% as good version of Dalton from X Factor UK. Kind of, sort of, but not nearly as good. Dalton was way better.
I didn't think of that comparison at all, Eric.
Just the high notes, the random high notes and stuff.
All right.
And the style of singing.
He has the whole story with his mother having surgery. It was a cute little segment where they call her. Can you imagine like getting a FaceTime from Katy Perry? Like she probably sells those for like thousands.
She doesn't sell them. She can't.
She can't?
She could, but I don't know. Never mind.
Don't doubt the power of Katy Perry.
I'm just doubting the power of technology more than Katy Perry.
Yeah, I wrote down for his performance, very well sang. He is very talented.
Yes.
All right. We get some cuts. Pete, I think this was how her name was. Correct me if I'm wrong. Peach Martini? Is that her name?
Maybe.
Okay. We lose Georgie and Sergeant Landon Knowlton. Any thoughts to share on these three really quickly?
Don't remember any of them. Sorry. That's a little harsh, but do you remember any of them?
I remember Georgie a little bit, but I also remember Sergeant Landon, who I thought was pretty good, but there's too many people here, Eric. We gotta.
Yep.
All right. And we get some people who are moving on. We get Juan Pablo, Evelyn Cormier, Ashley Hess, Clay Page, and Shay. Why didn't we see Ashley? We didn't see Ashley at all from these two episodes. Still bitter about it,
Okay. Maybe they weren't good and she'll do better next time. Who knows?
Lies. Ashley's going to win. All right. So that was round one. Really quickly, Eric, who was your favorite three performances from round one?
Madison, Jeremiah, Walker.
I'm going to go Lacey, Madison. I might put Nate, Jade. There's too many names. Nate, Jade, Myra. Yeah, it's a 5-way tie or whatever between those people for me.
Incorrect. Let's move on.
All right. So we get the iconic group rounds, the feared group rounds. So this is how the drill works. The contestants kind of break themselves into groups. This is built for drama. This is, like I said, this is as Big Brother as American Idol is going to get. So I love this round. Are you a fan of group round, Eric?
Never. But
never?
No.
Why?
Because we're not actually groups. We're not going to stay together. It's pointless to me. Let's see.
All right. So we are going to. The one thing I did notice is we only got 5 groups shown.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
That's it. There was like, how many people were left? Like probably 80? I don't know how many. No, more. There's got to be like at least 100. And we saw like, there's 5 people for each. That's all we're seeing. All right. So our first group is called Diversity. And right away I was thinking the Big Brother Canada winner. No, it wasn't Big Brother Canada. It was Britain's Got Talent group is going to sue somebody. I messed it up. They are composed of Myra, Juan Pablo, Jade, and a contestant we haven't seen before, but I believe was on The Voice. Mariah Fremica, I think was her name. And they are performing Stronger. What do you think of this group, Eric?
Well, I heard that Juan Pablo was a bit of an asshole, which, makes sense considering he shares the name with the other asshole Juan Pablo from The Bachelor. I liked Jade a lot in this performance. Which they were mad they cut her.
Yeah, the whole segment. Oh, go on. Sorry.
And Myra kind of oversang it.
Myra oversang it? Yeah, I agree. For me, funnily enough, I wrote that Jade was the star of this group.
Yeah,
I think that Jade was the best, and she
Boom.
ended up getting cut.
Yep.
Why? What did she do wrong?
She did nothing wrong.
I thought she was so good. I think they needed to cut, like, they have a quota from each, like, they can only let many.
Then cut the asshole. Don't cut the person who actually did good.
I don't know, but they really, like, they do this on American Idol all the time. They paint one person as the villain. There was, like, Clint Gamboa from season 10. There's always one contestant, right?
Sure.
All right, but otherwise for me, yeah, they were pretty good. Myra doing too much, I wrote down in my notes.
Yep.
All right, well, let's keep it going. We get some cuts really quickly. Zeb Spencer, Chloe Chanel, why is she getting cut? And Ethan Payne, didn't think, I watched their performances. I didn't think they were that bad, Eric. What did you think?
I didn't watch any of them.
I watched them. I thought they were really good, and I'm a little sad we lost them. And it's kind of awkward because interwoven with them, we got like clips of Eddie Island talking, and he's got like heart glasses on. Like,
God, I need to look this up. He's going to be our source of comedy this season. I just have a feeling.
I really am enjoing him. Like, he's got
a great personality.
He's this ridiculous like figure that's just kind of there, and he's like he's like taking it a little lightly, but like not in a bad way. Like, he's kind of a little bit filling the Katie Turner role, like lightly a little bit, where it's kind of he's providing, like, he's going above just the performances. He's talking to the cameras. He's giving them some stuff, and I love these contestants.
Sure.
All right, so we move on to Diamond Dixie. They're performing "Grenade," which is a song I have not heard in like 20 minutes since I was at the mall. I love this song. It kind of always takes me back to Pia Toscano, season 10, which was still, in my opinion, my favorite group performance I've ever seen. Do you have a favorite group performance of all time, Eric?
Not really, but I will say Lane did better on this than I expected him to, and Lacey actually sounded pretty great on this in my view.
Yeah, I wrote down that Lacey for me was the standout. Very, very good. This song reminds me of Old Idol. Not Lane's best, I wrote down, though, for me.
Still better than I expected from him. And Lacey actually was for me the standout of this group, actually. I would agree.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Eric.
I don't like her, but I did like this performance. I
think you're sleeping on Lane. Not Lane, Lacey. I think she could really go far. Like,
I think she could, too. I'm not saying I'm happy about it, but she could go far.
She's growing on me. Like, she's inching up there. Like, she's one performance from being, like, my top 3, in my opinion.
Okay. Great.
I've got my eye on her. For me, though, also Colby forgets the words, and he's wearing Luke Bryan's sneakers, and I just kept thinking, like, the boots are cursed.
No, Luke wants his shoes back. That's what is the answer.
Boots are cursed. Take off the boots. They're bad. They're bad luck. All right, so we get Vic. This is not Victoria's Secret. Wait, there's. Correct. What's the group name, Eric?
Victorious, as in the Panic at the Disco song, Secret.
Victoria's Secret. They are performing California Dreamin'. We only get kind of 2 contestants that are highlighted. Wade and Kason Lester, who was the strawberry farmer who we saw just in the auditions. Wade is having trouble remembering the words to the song. He ends up writing them all on his arm. And he gets totally called out for it. And I was kind of expecting the judges to kind of rip him to shreds for it, Eric. But what are your thoughts on contestants writing lyrics on their bodily parts?
Does not help their case for me at all. Does not help your case when I was already like iffy on him. This kind of put me like leaning against him now.
Some people have been talking that he should be disqualified for doing this. Are you that extreme?
Not quite, but it does put a very big check mark against you, a big X.
Honestly, this might have been the time when I might have cut Wade. Is that too harsh to say? I might have cut him here because he forgets the words. What?
Not too harsh, I don't think.
I don't know. I would probably be like up in the air, like Lionel always pretends to be. Like, oh no, it was Luke. I'm saying Luke is always like a maybe. Like, I would be a maybe on maybe cutting Wade. Hopefully he can live up because he's. I want to like Wade. I think there's
I want to like everybody, but.
All right, let's move on quickly to Unexpected Vibe, which we got Demetrius, Shay, sorry, and they're performing I Want It That Way. There's some other contestants' names. I didn't get everyone's names. There's a lot of people here. Shay is blind, so she gets some help from the group mates. And there's some really cute moments here where they're really supportive. What did you think of it?
Shay is really great. Demetrius is great too. I am not sure how I felt about the group mates putting on glasses at the end of a performance.
It did seem a little pandery to me, a little bit.
Extremely. Very, very much on the edge of inspiration porn. At least they were doing it from a place of kindness, but it felt like they were splitting her story a bit. It kind of bugged me. I mean, she's just a great singer. That's all we need to talk about. And he was great too. That's it.
For me, Shay was the star of this group.
100%.
There's one star, and it was Shay. Like, she stood out. She's got a phenomenal voice, and
yes,
she's in my top 10 personally. Like,
mine too.
She's phenomenal, which we've never had a contestant kind of like that. Like, when we have these kinds of contestants, they usually get kind of cut in the early rounds, but I think she's a legitimate like contestant. Like, she's got a resume that she's kind of building for herself, and I'm excited to see what she does next.
Me too.
We do though lose one person. His name was William. I thought he did really well. I would have put all these people through. They were really good.
Okay.
All right. So that kind of brings us to the last contestants of the night. It is a group involving Nate Walker, and there's kind of a lot of drama going on because he gets sick. The group name is Ain't Going Home, and he loses his voice, and the paramedics have to be called, Eric. It's immediate medical.
It's X Factor season 2 Panda all over again.
I was just writing. They're blowing this out of proportion. Like they have an ambulance standing by, and they need a reason to use it. So,
yeah,
like bring them in. Like you're already here. We already paid you to be here. Get in and pretend like I don't know.
Oh God.
Yeah. It was a weird segment, but he makes it, of course, back in time. Like they build this up as this big drama moment. I'm like, of course he's going to be back. Like,
and then cut to Monday's episode.
Yeah, so we are moving on now on to the next episode. Like I said, we are going to be doing these a little quickly. A lot of people to touch on really quick. So Ain't Going Home performs. They are doing. They didn't get any sleep. They said, I don't think. Nate comes back. There's a lot of drama going on. They mentioned that the call time for wake up is 5:30. What the hell? Why are you waking them up at 5:30, Eric?
I don't know. Whatever.
Drama. All right.
I'm up at 6 most days, so it's fine by me.
What?
I'm up at 6 o'clock most days.
All right. Well, they are composed of Logan Johnson, Ruthie Kraft, Gazy White, I think was his name or her name. I'm correct. I'm sorry if I didn't get that right. And Nate Walker. One thing I really liked about this performance is they are doing For the Longest Time by Billy Joel. And they changed the lyrics to personalize them. What are your thoughts on contestants doing this, Eric?
Not a fan of it usually. I thought Nate was just okay. They were all just okay. Nate was sick. I couldn't really hold too much against him, but I wasn't blown away by any of it.
I wrote that Nate sounded horrible, but not like in a horribly singing voice. Like he sounded sick. Like I could hear the sickness like through my television, and I was like, ugh. Like I kind of felt bad for him. And the judges, they're just mean at this point. They want him to sing alone. They because he kind of gets only a little part, and they want him to sing alone. I'm like, why are you doing that to him? The paramedics had to be called in. But it's just him. He cracks at one point, but they kind of build it up for drama. He's going through.
Yeah.
All right. So before we kind of really move on to the group round, did you have a favorite from these groups? I'm sorry. Before we move on to the solo round, do you have a favorite from the groups?
Not really.
Shay's group for me was the standout.
Probably.
All right. Solo round. Last round of the night.
The only good one. Let's get started.
The only good one. So 70 people remaining. So we went from 170 to 70. That still seems high to me, Eric. Am I off?
Yeah, it's still too much.
All right. So I did do letter grades for these performances. The longer ones, I'm sorry. I skipped over them a little bit during the first segment, but we'll do some. Do you have letter grades for this part also?
No, but I'll come up with them on the spot. This will be fun.
All right, so we get Walker Burroughs kicking off the night. He is very endearing. We get a little segment with his family. It's adorable. They're really rooting for him. But he is performing Your Song by Elton John. Surprised he didn't do it with the piano, though. I wrote down he's really good, but I don't think he's a winner. What did you think?
I thought it was a great song choice for him, actually. I think he's solidifying his place in my personal top 5. And I'd give it a B+, A-.
I gave it a B for me because he's good. First of all, why didn't he stay behind the piano for this song?
Whatever,
this is like,
who cares?
He's so endearing, but he's not close to my number 1. Like he's good, he's solid, but for me, he's kind of in that like 10 to 5 bracket. Like he's missing that like jump to kind of push him up here. He's kind of down here, but I don't know. I don't know if we've hit the ceiling with him. That's kind of what I'm maybe wondering. I would love to be proven wrong, but right now, that's kind of where I'm at with him.
Okay.
All right, so we get Juan Pablo, who says the solo round is the easiest round. Do you think that might be possibly true, Eric?
Well, maybe. I don't know.
I think the rounds of 10 is the easiest because you've probably been practicing that song the most.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't think the solo round's the easiest. I don't know. They are all, I think they're all hard, though. Katie called him cheesy during the group rounds he's performing. Million Reasons. It's that song.
See this one.
What?
I didn't see this one.
I saw this. He's not a terrible singer.
He's
I wrote that. They're really trying to paint him as unlikable. Like they really want, this is the case where they kind of build up a villain and then it's like a little kid with blocks and you push him down.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if I feel like I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's hopefully not like what the show kind of is portraying him as, but you never know. This though, for me, there were some really rough notes here. I gave this a C-.
Okay.
Yeah, I do feel bad for him. I feel like the show's kind of trying to paint him through a colored window.
Yeah, we've seen lots of that before, so you can't tell, but okay.
Like they kind of want us to see him a certain way. But anyway, Ryan Hammond is up next. He did All I Ask by Adele. Big range. What did you think, Eric?
Great voice, lovely tone. I liked him a lot.
I wrote down very big range. Some really good moments. He's very likable. Do you think he could win?
No.
All right. I gave this a B+ though. I thought it was really quick.
I gave it a B+ too, probably is what I'd give it.
It's funny. I don't think I gave anyone a single A though. For the entire night, I don't think I gave anyone an A.
I did.
Really? I'm interested to find out. Next up, we have Kai the singer. I remember her audition. She kind of went away, and now here she is again. I'm a little bit surprised she made it this far. Yeah. Is that a little harsh to say?
Yeah, not really.
Yeah. I wish we could have seen her earlier rounds because she really improved. Really improved. Like she took it up. Like I really like this performance. She performs Lost Without You. What did you think?
I liked it. Parts were a bit shaky, but overall she was good.
She wins for me the award of most improved on American Idol this season. This was a big leap. And she kind of has this really adorable segment where she's in her church and they're all paying for her to go to Hollywood. And I just was thinking, I was like, doesn't the show pay for the Hollywood trips? Like
they should.
Yeah, that's what I was like thinking. I was a little confused. Maybe that's just something else. I don't know. I love her church. They seem like such nice people. Like who doesn't want a community like that? They seem like such cool people. Yeah, so I give her a B for me.
Okay.
All right, so we move on to segments of original songs, and we get this whole talk. Eric, original songs, bad. They're very bad. You cannot do original songs. Some contestants are convinced, some are not. Riley Thompson doing Ring of Fire. We got a really quick glimpse of her. Not much to form an opinion on, Eric. What about you?
Good, not my thing at all.
All right. Raquel Trinidad, we also get a really quick snippet of. I didn't have any notes for her. It was just too quick.
Neither did I. She wasn't on YouTube.
All right. We have Evelyn Cormier, who I do have some notes on. She performs Wonderwall, which is like the meme song nowadays. I wrote down very good. Big ending. Very impressed. I liked her. What about you?
Torn on it. Parts are great. Parts kind of bugged me.
I liked her. She's like a sleeper contestant for me. Like, I don't know. There's some, I feel like we might like be underestimating her. She's kind of one of those contestants that I could see she makes it to the live round, kind of having a big breakout performance.
Hopefully. But parts really bugged me. Parts were good.
All right. Well, we move on to Eddie Island, who is performing an original song. And he says, this song is dedicated to love. He's so weird.
I love him.
He's so cool. What did you think?
Good, not in my top 5. The song wasn't that great. Katie was right about that, at least.
Yeah, they're kind of just painting him as like a joke contestant a little bit. Like, he's not being painted as legitimate, and I think he is pretty legitimate. Like, he's got a really good voice. He's really talented. Performance was solid. Katie did not like the song though, but for me, got a B.
I'd say B-.
All right. Well, we move on to Alejandro Aranda, who is another one of the big favorites. He's doing another original song, which right when I heard that, I was like, ooh, this could be pretty big, because a lot of people are going to be thinking, does it live up? Does it not? For me, it lived up to it. I really like this original song. Did you?
Nope. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but for me, his voice is just so weak and not my thing. And guitar playing is great, but as I said, it's not American guitarist, it's American Idol.
I'm all in on Alejandro Aranda. This was another winner of a performance. He's a star. I think he's a star. I think if you could replace his voice with someone else's voice, he'd be a star. I think he's gonna get an Idol makeover. He's gonna look like a
I don't care how he looks like. I care how he sounds. And it doesn't sound very good.
Think he's more of like, this is a bad comparison, but he's more of like an Ed Sheeran kind of singer-songwriter.
Ed Sheeran's a better voice.
Big, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's more of a singer-songwriter than a vocalist. But that's kind of what you need to do to break it into the industry. I think, like, for the show of American Idol, vocals are important. But after the show, that songwriting ability is kind of, the vocals take a back seat and the songwriting comes forward. Right now, it's kind of mismatched. You know what? Can you see what I'm saying a little bit?
Kinda. I just don't agree with it. I'm not a fan yet. I'd love to be, but I just can't see it happening because his voice is just so weak and it drives me crazy.
I disagree. I'm firmly on the Alejandro train. His songs just have a signature to it. Like, there's something about his guitar playing where I can hear it.
Then be a songwriter and be a guitarist. Right. Don't be a singer if you can't sing.
Let's move on to Margie Mace, who, like I said, I think she was the star of the Hollywood Week episode.
Guess what she sang?
Never enough.
Never. We'll never hear enough of that song.
I wrote down in my notes right after the song title, "Drink." Yep. We're never going to hear the end of this song, Eric. It's just going to keep going on and on.
Her voice was not nearly good enough for this song, in my view, because my two favorite versions of the song I've heard are Scarlett from X Factor and Kelly Clarkson's version.
Yeah,
she always live up to that version.
Margie is crying in rehearsals. She just seems like a big ball of emotions. The cameras are just loving it. Like I said, she's giving them everything she wants. They want. We don't get much of a performance from hers because it's really quick. I gave her a B. It was good. I gave
her a B-.
All right. Oh, I forgot to mention. Did I mention Alejandro? I give a B+. Did I mention that?
Okay, I'd give him a C+.
No. Quite a leap. All right. Well, we got Wade Coda up next. He's doing an original song. For the first time, his voice kind of it's very gravelly, and it really reminded me of a little bit like Nickelback and like Chad Kroeger.
Oh God.
I like it though. Like, it's a cool voice. It's like a rock voice. I think
Let's hope we can write the same song over and over and over again.
He's like a rock singer. I think this is the first time he showed me like a little bit of rock. Did you get that vibe too, Eric?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm still really torn on him.
You know, if he wants to make that transition to rock, like right now he's in his own lane where he's kind of in the Mumford & Sons. He could easily make that transition to rock and just have two whole brackets to himself, which he's in a really good spot. Just from my opinion, like he's like avenues. There's so much he can do. And I think he's a very versatile contestant. Hopefully we don't catch him with with lyrics on his arms, though. All
Okay.
right, I give that a B.
Okay.
All right, we move on to Nate Walker doing Always on My Mind. His voice sounds a bit better from when it was the previous episode. This was only seconds. I didn't give a grade. This was too quick to grade.
I didn't think it was good at all. Next.
All right. Tyler Mitchell doing country song.
Next.
Forgetting lyrics. He doesn't end up singing a bar. I think that should be an instant elimination, honestly. Like, I feel like if you forget the lyrics, like, don't, because then that person is going to go into a room, and the other contestants are going to look at that contestant who like forgot the lyrics, and it might be a bit of a telltale sign, like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I give that a D-.
Wow.
Drake McCain is up next, also doing Always on My Mind. I do not like the song, but
I like when Scarlett sang it. Scarlett sang the hell out of it. He's got a lovely tone. He's not like doesn't got a huge range, but he's pleasant. But I won't remember anything other than the hair.
It's so funny. I was about to say like the biggest thing I remember from him is his hair. Like he's a solid singer, like he's good, but other than that, like the only thing I remember is his hair is like, I don't know. I gave it a B.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Next up, we have a singer who I don't even know if we saw before. Bumbly? Is that a legitimate name?
Or maybe it's an app. Maybe it's like a.
That sounds like an app.
It sounds like an app.
I wrote down in my notes. Who is this? The first time we're meeting her? She's performing "God Is a Woman." I'll be honest, I've never heard this song before. I think it's an Ariana Grande song, but I wrote down I wasn't that impressed. What about you?
First Screech really bugged me. Rest was better. B- overall.
All right.
And by the way, the new episode title is Bumbly of Holisticness.
I like that. Nick Townsend is up next, doing "In My Blood" by Shawn Mendes.
Of course. I wrote. Of course he did, because that's who reminded me of. Okay, I didn't see that performance, but
I wrote down. I think he does better with softer songs, but this was okay. It was really quick. Another B. We get Gabba, who is the singer who has the whole story with her mom, the egg donor, which kind of like that's all they're kind of showing us of her. And I'm like, the poor girl, like there's probably other things to her. Why are we just focusing on that? What did you think about her?
Didn't see her.
I saw her. It was okay. There were other people to come up with, like, to talk about. There are more names, so let's keep it going. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of names here to go through. Let's talk about Jeremiah Harmon. He is performing "The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face." I wrote down great tone. Not sure how well it will hold up maybe in the competition, but I think he's going to be a fan favorite. What did you think?
Best guy this season by far. I worry about his long-term fate. I'm rooting for him. I will say the best version of a song I've ever heard was by Matt Cardle on X Factor. It's probably my all-time favorite X Factor performance, actually. Probably my all-time favorite reality competition show performance was Matt Cardle doing "First Time Ever I Saw Your Face." Mind-blowing. This wasn't that good, but it was good.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but how could you not root for Jeremiah? Like,
he's very likable.
He's one of those contestants that's just like holding a sign, like likable. Like, how do you not like this person? For me though, at times this vocal was like just like your vocal can go just to the breaking point. His was like right there at times. Like it was kind of scraping the edges. It didn't go there, but it was almost there. I'm a little worried how long he can keep this going. But for now, I think he's golden. I think he's a favorite.
Okay.
All right. We get quickly Kate Barnett doing "Daughters" by John Mayer. I wrote down just too breathy.
Good, not my thing. Next.
All right. Myra Tran is performing "I Put a Spell on You." Wow. This is a song that you usually reserve for like the pimp spot of top 10 week. And she's doing it solo round. I wrote down very, very good. This girl, she can really sing.
They didn't upload that one. I wish I could see that one.
It was really well done. I really thought solid performance.
Okay. I'll go back and watch that one.
All right. Shay Wynn is performing "Cry Pretty." This was by Carrie Underwood's. And she gets a little bit ahead of the beat at times. I don't know if this was just... what did you think of the performance, Eric?
That one wasn't uploaded either. I'm really annoyed. I'm missing all these good ones.
Oh, she was good. This was definitely another solid performance. But like I said, she got a little bit ahead of it. It's like, slow down,
Okay.
breathe, relax. You're doing good. You've got a lot, but this was not the best for me. Next up, we get Lacey K. Potter. Lacey K. Booth. I'm sorry. There's a lot of Potters in this episode. There's like everyone's calling Walker Harry Potter. There's Grace Potter.
I was thinking Rachel Potter from X Factor.
I love that girl. I was rooting for her hardcore during her season. Okay. Lacey K is doing Stars by Grace Potter. This is just one of those songs that screams Hollywood Week for me. Like, this is always, I think of this more of a Hollywood Week.
I think of Creasing in this song. I remember that.
Yeah. This was another winner for me from Lacey K. Booth. I think she is in my top 3. Like, I keep loving this girl with more and more with every performance. Like, she is phenomenal. And I think there's a chance she could win, Eric. I think there's a slow chance.
I really hope not.
She's good. I think she can work the camera. I'm looking forward to her, Eric.
God. Okay, move on.
All right, moving on to Uche. Doing Scars to Your Beautiful. This was a toned down performance. What'd you think?
Parts were good, parts bugged me. Falsetto in the middle I thought was really good.
Yeah, he's one to watch. I don't think he'll win, but I want to see what he does with the idol game. He is one of those contestants that's going to try to be the square amongst every other kind of circle piece. Like, he's going, everyone's going to try to go like somber, and he's going to go do something different. And that is something I so appreciate with him, because it's not going to be a winning game, but it's going to be an entertaining game. And I'll root for him. He's not in my top 10, but he's someone I could root for.
Okay.
All right. Next we have Madison Vandenberg, Eric's favorite. Bobby in here is her pre-snippet is kind of telling her she wants to do an original song. Bobby's like, no original songs. Bad. Like that was kind of, he was almost like a little bit like a parrot for the producers. Like, every time a contestant walked in with an original song, we'd go, no, bad. Like, that was all he would do. But the thing is, in the intro, I thought her original was pretty good. Did you catch it, Eric?
I did not. I only caught the actual performance she gave, and I thought it was, again, a league of her own. She's really good.
She does All I Ask by Adele, Airtown perfection. This girl,
absolute perfection.
This girl can do no wrong for me. Like, maybe I am rethinking. Maybe she should be in my top 5.
Yeah, she absolutely freaking should be. Next.
All right. We have Austin Michaels. I wrote down, how did he get this far?
Who was he again?
Austin Michaels was the country boy who did the lasso, and he lassoed the judges.
Okay.
He is performing. He was going to perform Speechless. He was worried about hitting the big notes, and he switched it to Parachute. Didn't end up rehearsing, so he kind of went into the performance kind of blind, just kind of doing it by himself. This was rough. This was kind of the closest thing to a bomb, as I think we saw during these performances. Well, you didn't. Did you see it, Eric?
Well, thankfully I didn't, because if it was a bomb, I'm glad that I didn't upload it to YouTube so it would spread.
You know, we're always taking a shot with the 15-year-olds. Like, there's some like the David Archuleta's who just have it, and there's others that
David
just...
was 16, by the way. There I am, Mr. McNitpick. I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what you meant, but I couldn't help but nitpick.
The contestants are either David Archuleta's or they're Austin Michaels, and it's just how it is. You kind of have to take the good with the bad when the age is that way. Anyway, Sean Robinson, he performs Don't You Worry About a Thing. I wrote down solid. Did you catch it, Eric?
No.
All right. Next up, Alyssa Ragu. She is, they keep showing her intro with Katy Perry talking about how her presence is forgettable. But I wrote down there's fire in her eyes. She really wants it. Favorite of mine. Another favorite of mine. We didn't really get to touch on her that much during Hollywood Week, but she is really good. Any notes on her?
I do have some. I think Alex was better than her audition. If she delivers more songs like this, she could really win me over, I think.
All right.
She's not in my top 4 right now, but she could be. She has potential.
All right. Next up, Johanna Jones, closing out the night. Another favorite of mine right here. She performs Wicked Game. They kind of build it up, and it all kind of, she has this whole story about how she has her boyfriend, and she's in love with him, and in the end, he ends up coming on stage and proposing to her. Cute little moment. Her performance, though, pretty solid. Give it a B+. What about you?
I like it a lot. Effortless falsetto. I really enjoy this performance.
All right. Well, we made it to the end, so we get some cuts. The cuts are pretty predictable. It's Austin Michaels. We lost Juan Pablo, Gabba. I'm just going off what I'm seeing really quickly. I think that's really it of the contestants that were really highlighted. Yeah. So that's kind of our coverage of Hollywood Week. Like I said, a lot of names to get through. We got through them all. Really quickly, Eric, who's your number 2 favorite solo performances?
My 2 favorite solo performances?
Yeah.
Well, obviously Madison, and then Jeremiah probably.
I would give it to. I'm gonna go Lacey and Jeremiah for me. I think we're the best 2 of the night, and maybe Alejandro. Those kinds of are the 3. So yeah, that's kind of going to be our episode for tonight. Sorry for kind of speeding through it. There was just a lot to get through. I'm going to say that my name is.
That was an hour and 15 minutes.
we kind of, I feel like we did the abridged version, but I'm Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at Adam's Soapbox and Adams. I've run my 2 websites, Adam's TV blog and AdamSoapbox.com. Where can we find you, Eric?
Eric_Ascher on Twitter, Eric Ascher01 on YouTube, EricAscher.com.
All right. Any final thoughts on the episode, Eric?
Not really. I thought solid week. I'm excited for next week. I'm excited for seeing more actual performances from the top 40. Hopefully with the judges muted this time, please. Producers, don't let Lionel talk over everybody, please.
I agree. And yeah, next week's going to be good. I'm excited for it. Any final thoughts, or should we say goodnight, Eric?
I'm good. Let's go.
All right, guys, this was fun. We will be back next week. Hopefully there will not be any technical difficulties. Thank you so much, guys. Peace.